Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time in the world you're in. This is Carla with MindPlore with Carla and Friends, and I am so thrilled to be here. This show will be shared onto Facebook from YouTube in a few moments, and I'm asking that everyone share it out. We will be able to do both YouTube and Facebook hopefully by next week. I locked myself out of Facebook, and Facebook is saying you can't go live yet. We need to make sure you are you. So they're figuring that out, and we should be back on Facebook and normal life real soon. Having said that, I have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful panel today. I have the lovely Asma Tariq from Pakistan. I have Knut Arold Hanstead, who I think I always botch his name, from Portugal. He's in Portugal now, but originally Norwegian. Very international show. I have Cameron Rizvi from Pakistan, Islamabad, and of course Neville Gaunt from the UK, and I believe he's in London. You can correct it in a moment. I am so happy to have them. We're going to be talking about our mindset. And basically, if you keep in mind, the world is as we see it and as we feel it. If we feel that we're in a positive world and we have something to give, that's what we get in the world. But if we're feeling a lot of fear and a lot of negativity, that's what comes at us. So it's up for us to decide how we see the world. And having said that, I'm going to ask Neville to pick up on that topic and speak a little more. Thank you, Neville.
Thanks, Carla. Hello, everyone. And yes, I'm in London. The sun is shining and it's been a beautiful day. So how could you not be happy? And it creates your mindset. So simple thing about mindset. You can improve your mindset and be very positive, or you can let everyone influence your mindset and be dragged down into watching the news and all of this COVID negativity and all of the fact that the world is not happy. It's an unhappy place because that's what news readers tend to tell us. They tend not to tell us a lot of happy stories. So you can change your mood quite simply. And what I suggest is turn the news off, because that's probably the best thing anybody can do currently, unless there is a section called Happy News. I've lobbied the BBC for many years to have 5 minutes of happy news at the beginning of every programme. Then everyone can switch off after it, and we can then deal with all the unhappy news. But can you make your own mindset? I'm going to say yes, but I'd like all the panel to add in their 2 pennies on that particular question. Can you make your own mindset?
Guys, Asma, what do you think? And how would you set your mindset?
Yeah, I think, thank you, Neville, and thank you, all of you. And I think mindset is a set of beliefs, and somehow we get the beliefs from the society. We can update our mindset, but when a child born and since the age you where you can't understand the things and where you can't make the differentiate, there your mindset is built by the society where you are living. with the passage of time, when you grew up and you realize the facts and you realize the things, and then you can update your mindset. It's certainly it with the passage of time it may get difficult, but it's you can change your beliefs at any time in your life, at any stage of your life. It may get hardened, but it can change. You can update your mindset. You can make it with the passage of time. Yes, there the society and there the environment affect your mindset, affect on your mindset somehow. Because somehow it's somewhere we may not resist to the factors, and where we just lose the resistance, there the society, there the environmental pressure and all that kind of things affect our mindset. As Neville said, because of that, there are the news and there are all that kind of things. There you have to make your own environment where you get that kind of things that help you to stay positive, that help you to stay in with your right mindset. If you go into the mindset, if you go into the environment, if you go into this thing state where the things are not positive, somehow negative, it may affect you somehow. Even you may say, I am very resistant, I can't, but in somehow it will affect you. Because of that, we must have some resistance, we must have some environment, we must have some a little kind of room where you have such kind of things, where you have positivity, where you have like you read books, you listen podcasts, you talk with the people who you love who are very positive, you have such kind of company, you do exercise, running, cycling, uh, uh, enjoy the nature and spend time with the nature. All these kind of things that relax you, and with that, that help you to stay positive, that help you to keep your mindset in the right track. So somehow affect, but it's human, because we always say human. For the human, I always said that human has the ability to choose. So if things gone wrong, yet human have the ability to choose, and this things, this choosability goes on throughout the life. Like we always somehow throughout the life, I think human has one purpose, to maintain the balance. Somehow this balance goes down, somehow this goes up, but throughout the life we have to struggle for the balance. Throughout the life we have to struggle for this, and somehow affect, and we have to maintain that. Now I think other members can make them more bright and
Canute, do you want to talk about mindset, please?
Yeah, some weeks ago, I meditated on this, because manifestation is, of course, extremely important for us entrepreneurs. And we need to be very focused. That is one thing. The other thing is that we need to be very flexible in order to get there, from A to B to C. And then when I reflect on that, it's sometimes I have this inner dialogue with myself, and then I said, okay, I talk about the consciousness, the energy, and information. That was my very simple model for this. And the first, the consciousness, is intention. And the energy, the motion, the energy that puts everything into motion is the energy, and it's the second. And then when those two fusion, then we have the information. That is what the information means. We inform. I mentioned that before. But then it was like some inner voice told me, remember, Knut, that the intention, when the intention is clear, then the result is given. And it is the energy in between, this in between. Many people are talking about this in these days. We are in between the past and the future. We are in between because we are not really, aware of what is going on now. So we have to be very open, flexible, open-minded. And that is also for me to change our mindset. If we can't change our mindset if we are not open, and to be open is then to let go, and this is the really challenging part, to let go over what we call the axioms, the dogmas, the paradoxes that we believe in. We don't question those dogmas, those belief systems, as you mentioned, Asma. This is the basic information, the source for information and decisions we have. And if we don't question those dogmas and axioms, then we can't change our mindset, because whatsoever we do, we will repeat it just in another way. You know, it's the same movement within the same framework, within the same space. So this is extremely important for me. I've been through so many stages myself related to this. And manifest. To manifest, that is something we should enjoy it. This is the human beings. We are creating a playground, and that is for me to change the mindset. We need a playground, and as you and many of you have pointed out already, that negativity is the negative, not just the thinking, but it's the emotions connected with what we think. You see, again, because there is an energy connected with every conscious intention. So we need to change both our mindset, but we also need to change our frequency of energy. And when we do that, those two fusion on a higher level, then magic happens.
Thank you, Knut. Cameron, let's speak about mindset from your point of view.
Thank you. Listening to Neville talking of happiness brought me a lot of joy. And I must say that Asma sort of capped it by mentioning the word beliefs, which shape our mindset, and those are unconsciously acquired. And then she built on that phenomena. And then Knut, of course, introduced manifestation and need for clarity of intent. And I thought that if you combine all of these processes, the question, I think, is, can you shape your mindset? So I would like to describe a mindset first with a metaphor's help. I mean, operating system and applications that we have in our devices. It is, to me, a mindset is our operating system. And if there are bugs in that, then no matter what app you put on the device, it's not going to work smoothly and it's often going to crash. So can we work on our operating system? And that certainly we can through greater self-awareness and looking within and trying to understand that my current state is not a permanent state. It's a very dynamic one, and that can be changed. It, of course, can change. And it's very flexible. The neuroplasticity we hear about is there. And the architecture and the design of our mind itself can be shaped by the power of imagination. And Einstein speaks of imagination, and many other scientists talk about the value of imagination. And our capacity to imagine is far more important than the knowledge we possess, because knowledge is in our memory, and imagination is a space that is yet to be discovered and has yet to manifest. But it manifests first in our heads. And that manifestation is what shapes our mindset as well, because the image is so vivid. It engages your five senses. It literally crafts in your mind alleyways and neural pathways and connections. That literally, you start feeling as though you're living that. And I feel that if you are subsumed by and engrossed by and engaged by that powerful image that you craft out of your capacity to imagine, then that's the dream we talk about. And I have a feeling that when the theme that, Carla, you were wanting to come to, I just loved it, because to me, and research has proven this time and time again, that dreams are what makes life worth living. And this factory of ours manufactures dreams galore. And those who dream are often mocked. Those who dream are often laughed at. And I feel that you need to be stubborn as hell when it comes to that. It's your dream. It's precious. Enjoy it. Live it in your mind to begin with. It's just like a seed. A seed, the acorn has the oak tree, but the acorn enjoys being an acorn because it believes it can become an oak tree at one point. And of course, people will sneer, people will joke, people will laugh at you. Hey, get into the world of reality. Well, I mean, what is reality if not what you invent, not what you create out of your imaginative capacity? So the mindset is really a direction that you are giving to the mind. If this thing does not have a context, it will take you into the blind alleys and cul-de-sacs. And if you give it direction, it'll take you into possibilities. And to me, a goal is an outcome of a dream. A dream is an outcome of a very powerful, attractive view of the future. And that is why they say that, you know, having eyesight and lacking insight is a very sad thing as such. Having insight without eyesight is okay, but eyesight without insight is... So mindset literally is our engine working in the direction which is attractive not only for yourself, but for those you care for.
Beautiful, Cameron. I have been working on, I myself have been doing a lot on working with changing my mindset or changing my dreams. Not changing my dreams. I grew up being told, oh, you're a dreamer, nothing will work. Stop dreaming, come to reality. And I think throughout all my life, because of that, I stopped dreaming. And then about 4 years ago, I met a crazy man who dreams about everything and works for his dreams. And I began dreaming again. And when I began dreaming again, I found myself getting excited about life and getting excited about what can happen in the world. Because how we see the world is very determined on how we see it. And having said that, have you found through your life that you went from being quote practical to begin dreaming? And when you began dreaming, did your life improve? And before I forget, just so you all do this, we are only live on YouTube. Everything has been shared out. Please share it out so people know we're here. Next week, we should be able to be both on Facebook and YouTube. Okay, having said that, Cameron, do you want to talk to my question? And I'd like to hear what everyone has to say.
The question being?
The question being, was your reality once the quote practical reality, and then you moved into your dream world? Or were you always a dreamer, and how did your life shape up?
Okay, so the way I see reality, thank you, Carla, for that question. I think it's a very important question. Reality is very subjective, and everyone is in his or her own reality, number one. So if someone says it's impractical because it is clashing with their reality, I have no fight with them, I have no argument with them, but everyone creates their own sense of what is practical and what is real. And I do not want to be enslaved by anyone else's sense of reality. I want to create my own. So reality is very subjective. And if there are 7 billion plus people on this planet, there are 7 billion plus realities. I live in a beautiful reality in my own life. And I think that reality is such that I am grateful and I'm always fulfilled and happy to be alive, and each day is precious. So reality itself, and I'm sure Kunut and Neville and Asma shed some light on this, is, what is real for you is practical for you. Frankly, that's how it is. And if you notice, all inventions, all innovations, majority said it's a stupid idea, it's impractical, it cannot be done. But then where did Elon Musk come from? Where did Steve Jobs come from? I mean, where did Microsoft, where did these organizations come from? A sense of reality. And then what happened to BlackBerry? Their sense of reality. And it went down. What happened to, Kodak? What happened to Nokia? Again, it was their sense of reality. It was very subjective. So people can create things from apparent nothing because they see what others do not see. And that's what leadership is about. Vision is about showing people what they're not seeing and getting them to engage in your reality, to leave theirs and to enter yours. And if they become part of your reality, wow, your reality gets powered, and it is given direction by dreams. And I think reality, the beauty of reality is the one that you live in, things that you do in it are practical, but others will judge it otherwise if it doesn't match with their sense of reality.
Well, Cameron, thank you so very, very much. Knut, what do you want? What is your reality? And how has it grown?
First of all, thank you, Kamran. Because I have, from my midst of my 20s, I knew somehow, and this is also related to intuition, that is also creative imagination here, that someday I would run or operate from a place in Italy when I was in midst of the 20s. So for me, this manifestation is also very much about the perseverance. And I heard an interview with Steve Jobs and some other people, maybe Sir Richard Branson and some other people. They all agreed that what made them succeed was focus. That was the first. And the second was focus. And the third was focus. What I have learned from my own journey, from these 20s until now, is that we need both to be focused and flexible. I have used many years in order to find my dream on the practical level. And sometimes we have to go through many stages from many, realities, as you talk about, Cameron. That was really a revelation for me as well. When I did understand, in Norwegian, we have two different words for reality and realities. So there is one reality, and that is the full potential whatsoever. And from that full potential reality, then we have the infinite expressions of the same reality. So as you say, when we start from this superposition, from this 0-point field where nothing is and everything is, then we create our own reality. And that's what I did, because I had really, I didn't have that self-confidence, but I knew it. So there is a conflict here between the dreaming and the creative imagination. And of course, for some of us, because we have a very strong intuition, it's like an inner conflict between this inner knowing, and what we experience in our own reality, our conditioned mind. So I think this is so important to understand, that we very often, if we really need to manifest, we need to have this passion and purpose. And for me, that has been the major topic for me now, that when every one of us, we find our true passion and purpose, then we have the energy to fulfill it. And it was like I also told, what I mentioned earlier, that the intention, when the intention is crystal clear, it is on the highest level. The intention, you as you, is very clear, but you filter out, you mess it up, because you have all these old traumas and feelings and emotions and eventual karmic influences whatsoever, and then it conflicts. But then again, the intention is clear, crystal clear, and that's why the information, the result is given. For me, it was wow. And then it was this in between, as I mentioned again. I need to work on that. And most people give up because they listen to the outward, listen to the voices from outside, instead of listening to themselves.
Thank you, Knut. That was very well said and very well received. Ozma, what is your reality?
For me, actually, if we say, and I think thank you, Kamran sir, and thank you, Kanu, you reflect. That's just amazing. I think that's just amazing. And for me, I just defined the actually reality definition just right now. And for me, I think reality itself is the reflection of imagination. If you look at the universe, as Kamran says, like at the inventions, even at the universe, I often say, even at the universe, it's it's once the imagination. It was imagination. God created this universe, but before the creation, it was just imagination. It was nothing else. So every reality itself a reflection of imagination. And I think the bigger, the greater the imagination, the greater would be the reality. They are the person who have great realities, who created great inventions, are the people who see the great imagination, who live in the imagination, but the imaginations were too great, too big, that usually the people can't reach there and they don't see there. So the one who see the imagination, the one who create the imagination, the more greater the imagination, the more greater the reality would be. And simply if say think that that's why the I think that I realized what my from since my childhood and now, that why people don't talk about imagination and dreaming, because there is one thing. Whenever you say the dream and in the way of imagination, there one thing come out of your comfort zone, leave your ease, like leave the comfort zone. So we usually whenever you see some dream, whenever you want to do something, yet you have to leave your comfort zone, and there we have to make some efforts. So most of us just leave there because it's somehow not too easy and it's not as difficult. I usually as a writer, I usually give the example that whenever someone says I want to write, so I said, have you ever started writing? They said no. So I said I started the writing honestly with the one line. I just whenever I came home, so whatever happened in the whole day, I came home and I write one line. In this is a summarized line, is a conclusive line. And with the passage of time, this one line shifted into two lines, then three lines, then paragraph, and then into book, and then books. So this is how the thing happen. This is how the changes happen. It's step by step. So usually when you say this thing, you actually a few days before I lost one thing, I lost my one project, but that rejection gave me another big dream. And since that day, I couldn't sleep normally because of that dream. Even in the dreams, even in the night, this is coming in my mind, how this can be real, how this can be possible. So this is one, how we can do it. So dreams are actually, dreams makes you like they not leave you in the comfort zone, and they are not living you like the normally you can't live with the ease, where you are actually just passionate, you are actually you there is something in your body, there is something in your mind, you just want to do it, you just want to do it, you just want to do it in any way, by hook and but there this is the way there the problem happen, and there we just lost the patient, because you can't do it just by one step. There you have to break the thing, there you have to break and make this dream into small goals, into short-term goals, and then you have to put your efforts like till this time how much I can achieve, then till this time how much I can achieve, and how I can work on myself, how I can break the things. Like there someone said me, there in your life learning is very important, but with that unlearning is also very important. In this environment here we always just get a lot of things that we know not be necessary to get them. So with the passage of time, when you realize that these are not important, these are not okay, we need to unlearn them. And these are the things coming out of your comfort zone and unlearning. Like, these are the things that stop us from imagination, that stops us from dreaming, that stop us from making our dream real. Because it's very difficult. Certainly, that happened with me. Like, you have a belief from us years that the things would happen like this, and someday someone tell you that this is not the right thing. This is not how the things happen. And you said, my this how you can say this? I work on this from years, and now you can say in 1 minute that this is not right. But the more, I think, the more earlier you realize this, the more earlier you can grow, the more earlier you can get progress. So, getting out of your comfort zone and unlearning, these are the things that help you to grow, that help you to get progress. And certainly, reality, there is nothing reality. Everything for me is imagination, is the reflection of imagination. And the more greater the imagination would be, the more greater would be the reality. Today, imagination would be the reality of tomorrow. And the greater it would be, greater we see the imagination, the greater it would be the reality.
Beautiful, Asma. Because I know in my life, I have been told, don't dream, stay in reality. And I did for a long time, but I always dreamt, wouldn't it be nice if the world could speak to each other? Wouldn't it be nice if we all spoke the same language and we could talk and create peace because we understand each other? That has been, as you were talking, I remember dreaming that a time when I thought about it as a little 4 or 5-year-old. And it never left me. But it took many years for me to get back to that dream. And I think we all have gone through that in some way or another. Neville, you haven't spoken on this, and I really would like to know what you have to say.
Well, I have spoken because I've been laughing and clapping, and because if I can just paraphrase, if we could bottle up what Asma just said and sell it, it would be the fastest selling perfume on the planet. The greater the imagination, the greater the reality. Now, there's a phrase in itself, isn't it? I mean, if the ripe old age of 62, I believe that. Because if you can't dream something, I mean, I believe in the Disney approach, if you can dream it, you can do it. If you can believe it, you can dream it, then you can do it. And Canute said the same, the wow happens. And then you've got to have the passion and the commitment and the grit and all these wonderful words to follow it through for the intention to come to fruition. And the 7 billion, Cameron, we just got to get 7 billion realities a little bit more aligned. Perhaps we can half it. And at least that means every other person might have, the same reality out there. And I'd like to go back to what you said, Cameron, about the operating system, because everything stems from this powerful thing between our 5 inches. We've all got sort of 2 ears, unless we've got something wrong with us. And inside, there's this huge thing called a brain. And if you imagine the brain as the hardware, because we all know about hardware and software, and we all know about the conflict of some software with the hardware. Nothing's ever perfect. And it doesn't actually boot up the same way every single time you turn that PC on. But fortunately, we're all blessed with a core operating system that boots up the same way every time. And if it doesn't, we're dead. Because it allows us to breathe. It allows us to open our eyes. It allows blood to flow around the body and the heart to pump. So we've got a core operating system that works without us thinking about it. I mean, anyone here, put your hand up if you actually tell your heart to beat, once every second. Do you tell it to beat? Yeah, right. Thanks, Knut. I mean, we don't. So this is a real powerful piece of software that's automatic in everybody. But then it comes to the other operating system we put in, the other bits of software. And if we think about when we're a child, Carla, you mentioned being a 4-year-old. Nothing stopped you at 4, because nothing stopped any of us at 4. If we were given a present and we unwrapped the present, we played with the present, then we went back to the box and played with the wrapping. We had plugged in a bit of software that we now know is called imagination. And all we've got to do, the how, is just plug that bit of software back in. Start to let yourself dream, imagine big. And the bigger you imagine, the more reality comes to the page. I mean, when I launched Your Passport to Grow about 5 years ago, against all the odds, because every university, every school said, we do that already. You know, we don't need you. But the evidence told me you don't. Because all these graduates, even if we focus on graduates coming out of university, they've got these wonderful certificates. And in some countries, you need 2 of them. You don't just need 1 degree, you need 2 before you're even recognized. And we just flash these certificates around. And what we've recognized over the last 18 months is that COVID has blown this contract away about, I dream to get a good degree and I therefore imagine myself in a good job. And unfortunately, that isn't reality, and it never has been. So we're having to change the way we do things. But like Knut said, if you haven't got the intention to follow it through, don't even start it. Because you've got to create that other bit of software. Go and read about it, imagine it, dream it, think about it, talk to others about it, to start to build your dream, build your imagination, and make it come to fruition. Because 7.4 billion different realities is not going to work anymore. We need to align a few of them. And there's a great, it's a very old poem called No Man is an Island. It's from the 18th century, from John Donne. And it basically says what we know today is that we're all connected. Science has proven that in the most extreme parts of the universe, we're all connected somehow to all of those particles that are out there. And that's what this poem said. And it's a brilliant poem. I recommend everyone to go and read it, because and look at the interpretation of it as well, because that says a lot about it. But coming back to this imagination piece, just plug in another bit of software. And if you haven't got it, go and get it. And that might be from reading a book, watching, a film or a video, watching kids play in the street. Because just let your thoughts go and just see what happens. It's easier when you start to do these things than it is to talk about it. But let's start to use this powerful tool up here in a slightly better way.
Neville, do you remember a few months ago you told me to do a class online, but everything's online? And remember in the beginning I thought, oh, I can't do it. It's done now. And yes, I'm still looking for my students to come. I've had a few. But the point is, that's part of the dream that I had many years ago. And now I'm bringing it to fruition, getting people talking. And it kind of got out of hand because I thought, in parents, everyone said, you're dreaming. It can't be true. But once I began getting out of that mindset, I began to see that dreams can become true. And I'm very excited about it because it's something I did not experience when I was younger. And with that, I wonder what Cameron has.
You need to unmute, Cameron.
Oh, I think I have to unmute him.
Yeah, focus my mind. Focus my mind. Otherwise, Knut is going to smash me. Get me on the track.
Sorry?
Cameron, are you going to talk?
Yes, I would love to talk, but just get me on the track again, because I've lost you somewhere.
We're talking about dreams and making them come true using our imagination.
Yes.
Have you found that your dreams are becoming true as you keep moving through life? Or did you listen to people who said, dreams can't come true, stop dreaming? I was told that 2 days ago, in fact.
I will say that when I came to Pakistan back in '91 from Neville's country, and I was there for 20 years, I discovered when I got into this profession quite by chance that I was living my dream from that day on. And I essentially have been blessed with a beautiful bunch of people who I work with, and the clients I serve, and the youth I work with as well. And I must say that living your dream is a gift and a half, you know. So I've always been a dreamer, an idealist, a utopian, and I am proud of that, despite what people may say. And frankly, that is true wealth, to be able to enjoy a very beautiful present and a future. Others may not be able to see it. Sometimes they wonder, how is it that I'm driving around in a 1990 vehicle? You know, we are living in 2021. I mean, they don't know, they don't see. I enjoy what I have. And yeah, I'm living my dream, and I want people to live their dreams. And life becomes beautiful when you have a dream. A dream is a bouquet. Can you imagine having a vase without flowers? So what is a life without flowers?
Are you finished, Cameron? I love it. What is life without flowers? You want to say something, Neville, and then we'll talk to Knut? And
yeah, it's just came to me today. So Cameron's living his dream. I'm living my dream. And a question that I ask people on a regular basis, I don't care who they are, whether they're students at university or chief execs at the top of large organizations. I asked the question of the guy today, and I said, what really turns you on? If you had any job in the world, what would you do? And the funny thing is, he really shocked me. He said, the one I'm currently doing. Now, I don't hear that very often, frankly. And I was a bit stunned with the answer. So I went back to him and said, what changes would you make? And he said, none. I'm living the life of Riley. And the interesting thing is, he'd already explained to me what he was doing, and he was giving this away for free. How to sell yourself on a global stage, how to use LinkedIn. And he's got over 2 million people following him. So he's become an influencer. And he openly says, I don't want to be an influencer, but if it means helping people get on the right track, then that's what I'm going to have to become. But the soonest opportunity I will get, I will go off the track, go into the sidings, go into my little cabin on the side, and other people then we'll make it. But I thought, what a wonderful thing to say. He did shock me by saying the job I'm currently doing and I wouldn't make any changes. So I just thought I'd throw that in because eventually you'll see who this person is and you might be surprised. Not today, though.
That's a great, great story. I love it because, you know, I thought about it myself. My sister said to me, "You're not making any money, Carla. How can you be happy doing what you're doing?" And I said, "But Vivian, what I'm doing is what I've always dreamt of doing. So I know that I'm going to be taken care of. So whether you allow me to have money from the trust or not is irrelevant. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to continue doing it." Canute?
I have a feeling, you know, that the whole panel here, we are really privileged because we are living our dreams and we are conscious about it. And to live your dream is not that you are without struggle. Maybe the opposite, you know, and that has also been some research that people who really are happy, they are happy because they feel a purpose in the midst of suffering. I think that is really interesting. And one other aspect here, as you also mentioned, Neville, because you also realize now that everything is interconnected. So there is an aspect here also of a collective dream. We haven't discussed that so much, but I think that I can sense, you know, that and with people I talk with now all over the world, that we have a collective dream. And to manifest that, but we need to name it, so to say, because that is what we all have been discussing now, that we need to think big, but we can think big on behalf of the collective. And then we find our own place, small position in that whole. So for me, the big dream is a world without boundaries. You know, it's a world without boundaries. And then to have equality and fair distribution of resources. I think that is a collective dream. And then we have our individual dreams, and in an ecosystem, what we discuss on the quantum reality. Then when, as I said, when we find our passion and purpose, then we automatically fulfill the collective dream. But as long as we listen to outward voices and the conditioned mind, then we always will fulfill some other people's visions and goals. So we give away our freedom and authority to dream. So to dream, to use our creative imagination is a power. It's power in dreaming. It's a power, but not just power as energy. It is really to have impact. Because when we start to connect with each other, and then we start to concretize and to implement how we can fulfill that. What does it mean to have a world without boundaries? And for me, that is a global ecosystem. How the heck can we collaborate and reach that goal like that if we start to compete, if we continue to compete, we continue with the separation, with the divisions and all that kind of stuff. We need to find ways of connect in a new way, because the old systems, they have failed, you know. So we need to dream beyond the existing. And then we do understand and we tune into this new dream. And that is the most fascinating for me. And that is a part of my dream, to be part of this new collective dream. That's why, of course, I talk about a new renaissance. You know?
It's this mic thing is driving me nuts. It's amazing, and it's such a pleasure to hear you guys speak today. Because as I say, I have been dreaming all my life and been told not to dream. And I'm getting affirmed for what I want to be doing. Asma?
I should say, just wow, that's really amazing. And what the Canute said, the people who are not, who don't see the dream, I think everybody see dream, everybody has a dream. But there, one thing that comes some people have the fear, and because of their fear, because of people, and because of other factors, they stop dreaming. It's not that none can see the dream, everybody see the dream, but some people stop dreaming because of other environmental factors and a lot of other things, and they are not happy. I think the one thing that just hurt me a lot in my life. This is what, like, I have a good connection with the people who have the good who are the older age. So I always connect with them, listen their stories, and they are the most of the stories. In most of the cases, they are not happy with what they do, and the reason was that. What was the reason? Reason was that they didn't do what they wanted to do. They stopped their dreams. And because of that, they have a regret at their later age. And that's because of that, they never be happy. Our poet is an international poet, Iqbal. He said, life is not our destination. It's actually a journey. And this is what happened with the dreams. Like, there is not a solid destination that I have. This what it's actually a journey of discovering, journey of exploring the things. And the more you explore, the more you discover the things, the more you get progress. There is not an end. There is not an end. Even if you achieve, like, some when I was 4 years old, I saw a dream. When I read the books, I wanted to write a book, and so that people would read me as I read the people right now. When I published the book, it happened. After that, things doesn't stop there. The things just go on more vast and more broaden. Now I want something new. Now I want to discover the new realities. Now I have new imaginations. So, and there's something when I achieve that, there's something new happen. There's something new come. So I think it's just exploring. It's a journey that carry on throughout your life. And I just want to share, like, actually my mother stopped dreaming because many factors, and she stopped the things what she wanted to do at my birth. Because here in Pakistan, because of they had to take care of their children, they had to take care of their home. But after many years, right now, after 20 years, right now, I just actually in the last year pushed her to do whatever she wanted to do. And today she just she achieved a little achievement, and she's happy. The smile that I wanted to see in her face throughout my life. And today, when I'm seeing that, and I was thinking, it's not the big achievement that she wanted to do, but it's a little tiny achievement. But yet, that tiny achievement made her happy because she is now discovering her dreams. She is now doing what she wanted to do many years before. So there is not an age, there is not a limit. Whenever you get the opportunity, whenever you realize, just grab that opportunity, just grab it and start it. There you can start. Carla, we can start at the end even, and we can start at any point, at any stage throughout the life. There is not an end, and it's just a journey, and it happened throughout the life.
So well said and so beautifully said, Asma. You guys are amazing. We are getting to the end of the show. I want to remind people, if you're watching either later or now, I cannot see comments right now at all if you made any. By accident, I found some comments from Tuesday's show. So please don't think I'm ignoring you. But I've been dreaming. And I guess when you're dreaming, it's hard to find what's going on in the moment sometimes. I just want to thank these wonderful, wonderful people for coming today talking about dreams. And I want to give everyone, and I really mean 1 minute, to say any final last words that they would like to say about their dream, or what is their dream. But please, I need to time it to 1 minute. And we'll start with Kamran. And
Yes, thank you, Carla. Dream is a very abstract, foggy, attractive, flexible, flowing vision, a view of the future that is also a view of the present. You're living it. Vision is the high definition version of that. Vision is literally seeing things in sharp focus, and it's there. And I might say that people without vision perish. This is a biblical quote, and I love it. I mean, people without vision perish. What a powerful statement that is. And at the same time, vision without action is pipe dreams. And action without vision is being an ass. So, vision and action, something that Neville, is all about, is magic. And magic is logic others do not understand. That's my 1 minute.
And that's so very, very true. Okay, Canute.
Yeah, for me, creative imagination and dreaming is the same, but it's active. Creative imagination is active, it's not passive. And for me, that is also representing the infinite potential with the open space. And then the actualization of that dreaming is the mind. So we need to balance this infinite potential in dreaming. And that's how we change both our own mindsets, but also our behavior and the world. So this new world creation, which I feel we are in the midst of now, it demands creative imagination, and then how to work that into practice. That is the mind's work.
Thank you, Canute. I'm sorry. Neville.
I'll do it in less than a minute so everyone else can catch up. Just do it. Whatever it is, just do it. Dream it, play it, go and have fun. Just do it. Write it down. Talk to people about it. Make your dream come to fruition. And I'm going to pinch what Asma said before. The bigger the dream, the bigger the reality. And I think that's a great way for me to sign off today, because like anything else, you always learn something, and I've learned that. So, because it's true.
Thank you, Neville. I had a question for you, but we'll get into it later. Asma.
I just want to say, if you're seeing the dream and if you believe it, just give this belief to the other people, because there are a lot of people out there who are just waiting for your words, who are just waiting for your push to give them the belief. There are a lot of people want to do, but you just need some push. You just need your belief. They just need your support. So if you have that ability, just give it. Just do it, because as I said, everything happened mutually. Growth happened mutually, success happened mutually, and the world would, the peace only would come when we all will grow and we will all progress. This is want to give this belief to the others also. I just want to say.
I'm talking and not unmiked. Beautiful. Guys, this has been an amazing and awesome show. I want to thank you for being here. Cameron, Canute, Neville, Asma, you're absolutely amazing. And I am blessed to have you guys in my life. And guys, if you want to watch the show, you need to watch it at GiggleFest University YouTube, because it's not on Facebook because of my own mistake, but it's a good one. Thank you so much. We will be back on Tuesday, and I think we're going to stay with manifestation. I'm really getting into this topic. So we're going to wave goodbye and have a great, great day, people. And with that, we are going off air.